Good evening and welcome to the Planning Commission of the City of Moreno Valley. I now call this meeting to order on, it's not April 25th, I think it's July 11th at 7:05 p.m. Now may we call roll call, please?
Commissioner Brugaris, excused. Commissioner Stephen.
Present.
Commissioner Harris.
Here.
Commissioner DeJournette.
Here.
Commissioner Corsick.
Present.
Vice Chairperson Baker.
Here.
Chairperson Sims, absent.
The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Harris. All please stand and face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we're going to move for approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I motion we approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by our young lady there, and the second by Commissioner DeJournette. Okay. Do we need to vote? Do a roll call vote? Okay. Oh, you're up here. Okay.
Electronic vote.
Sorry. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, public comments procedure. Any person wishing to address the commission on any matter either under the public comment section of the agenda or scheduled items on or the public hearings must fill out a request to speak form available at the door. The completed form must be submitted to the secretary prior to the agenda item being called by the chairperson. In speaking to the commission, the member of the public may be limited to 3 minutes per person except for the applicant for entitlement. The commission may establish an overall time limit for comments on a particular agenda item. Members of the public must direct their questions to the chairperson of the commission and not to other members of the commission, the applicant, the staff, or the audience. The next thing we got is the next item is the public comments on any item not on the agenda. Do we have any speakers?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. And the next thing is, next item on the agenda is approval of the consent calendar. Do we have any speaker requests for that?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. There is one item on the consent calendar, or there's no items on the consent calendar in the minutes of May 23rd, 2019 regular meeting.
I'm sorry, sir.
Let me read that again. There is one item on the consent calendar. The minutes of the May 23rd, 2019 regular meeting. Is that correct?
Apologies, sir. That's my mistake. It's
Okay.
June 27th, 2019.
I got it here just a minute. Okay, and it was again the minutes of the June 27th meeting. I'm sorry for that. So what we need here now, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 27th, 2019, and a second?
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the, you got a second by Commissioner Harris. All vote, please. Okay, we got a 5-0 on that motion. And the next thing is, the next item on the agenda is non-public hearing items. At this time, do we have any items on for the non-hearing? None. Okay, we'll move on. The next item on the agenda is the public hearing items. And it's item number 1 is a request for a plot plan and expanded environmental review for a 41,511 square foot Kia sales and service facility located at the northeast corner of Moreno Beach Drive and Auto Mall Drive. May we have a staff report?
Thank you, Vice Chair Baker. The staff report will be presented by Contract Planner Jerry Garcino.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Jerry Guaracino. I'm Planning Consultant for the Moreno Valley, and I will be pleased to present the staff's report this evening. The applicant, MV Holdings, LLC, is requesting approval of a plot plan and expanded initial study application for the development of a Kia CarPros dealership in the Moreno Valley Auto Mall. The proposal includes the construction of a 41,500 square foot Kia auto dealership on 2 vacant parcels totaling 6.14 acres. The property in question is located south of the 60 freeway and at the northeast corner of Moreno Beach Drive and Auto Mall Drive. The property to the east and west of the site is vacant. To the north is a vehicle storage lot and additional auto dealerships. And property to the south is currently multifamily residential. The surrounding streets are all already constructed, and you can see from the photos that all the sidewalks and parkway landscaping is all in, the top photo being Auto Mall Drive and Petite Drive. The property's general plan designation is commercial, as is the adjacent properties to the north, south, and west. The property to the east is designated residential 2. The property in question is currently zoned Specific Plan 209, Planning Area C, in the Moreno Valley Auto Mall Specific Plan. The specific plan was originally adopted back in 1988 and has been subsequently amended 5 times. The project is designed and conditioned as to be consistent with the goals, policies, objectives of the city's general plan, the requirements of the specific plan, and the city's municipal code. The applicant is proposing to construct and operate the Kia dealership in 2 phases. Phase 1 of the project would include 23,858 square feet, an automotive sales and service facility on 2 floors, surrounded by customer, employee, and display parking. The improvements you see here are for Phase 1, which would include a showroom, 8,800 square feet of office, 13 service bays, a drive-through car wash, 50 customer and employee parking spaces, and 383 display spaces. Site improvements, The site will be accessed, well, I guess that doesn't really show up there, through 2 entrances. The main entrance will be on Auto Mall Drive, and a secondary entrance will be on Pettit Street to the north. Specialty display parking areas will be located along Auto Mall Drive at 4 locations at each of the corners and at each side of the main entrance. And additional specialty display areas will be provided next to the entrance to the building. The slide you have in front of you now shows Phase 2 development of the project, and this will include an additional 17,653 square feet, expanded showroom and offices, and 10 additional service bays. The current application before the Planning Commission includes a master plot plan for the full build-out of the project, including approval of the Phase 1 improvements and the environmental analysis for the ultimate project improvements. The project has been conditioned to require approval of an administrative plot plan for review of floor plans and elevations to construct the Phase 2 improvements. Additionally, the project has been conditioned to do a lot line adjustment. Right now, the existing lot line for the 2 parcels goes through the building. The proposal in front of you shows a amended lot line which moves the property boundary to the north of the proposed facility. Phase 1 improvements have been designed to incorporate a contemporary architectural design that's consistent with Kia's corporate architectural design language. The materials include a combination of gloss white, metal panels, split face block, clear vision, and spandrel glass. Landscaping on the project site is provided around the perimeter of the property, around the building, and throughout the parking areas. The project proposes to install 24-inch box trees throughout the project, with flowering accent trees at the entrance. Various shrubs and ground cover requiring low water needs are proposed throughout the site. The environmental review for the project has been done consistent with the California Environmental Quality Act. The city prepared an initial study based on the thorough analysis of potential environmental impacts. It was determined that the proposed project will not have a significant effect on the environment with the implementation of mitigation measures. Therefore, a mitigated negative declaration was found to be appropriate for the project. The mitigation monitoring reporting program has been prepared to ensure implementation of the mitigation measures. In front of you, you should find a supplemental memorandum describing minor revisions to the draft to the draft initial study, mitigated negative declaration for the project, and revised conditions of approval that have been developed in cooperation with the applicant, the environmental consultant, and the city to provide greater clarity as to the need for mitigation for biological resources and other minor changes to conditions of approval at the request of the applicant. With that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve Resolution 201930 and thereby certify the mitigated negative declaration for the plot plan, adopt the mitigated monitoring and reporting program for plot plan 19-0047, attached as Exhibit B, and approve plot plan PN 19-0047 based on the findings contained in Resolution 201931 and subject to the attached conditions of approval. Actually, that recommendation should mean the modified conditions of approval you have in your memo. That concludes staff report. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Do any of the commissioners have questions of staff on this project? Okay, if not, at this time, we would like to hear from the applicant. Would he like to speak? Okay, thank you. Please come forward, state your name. Right there, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Good evening, my name's Matthew Phillips and I'm the CEO and majority owner of CarPros. Thank you all very much for the time this evening. I'd just like to take just a couple minutes to introduce who we are, what we do, and how we're going to be part of this great community here in Moreno Valley. CarPros just celebrated its 25th anniversary. We were founded by my father in actually Seattle, Washington. He started as a used car dealership. In 1999, he got his first new car store, which was a Hyundai store in a town of 6,000 people. And within the first year, he was one of the top 10 Hyundai dealers in the nation. Then got a Kia store in Tacoma, Washington, and became the #1 Kia dealer in the entire nation. And we've been really good friends with Kia ever since. We came to Southern California in 2004, opened a couple of Kia dealerships here. Today we own 6 dealerships, 3 here in Southern California, CarPros Kia in Huntington Beach, CarPros Kia in Glendale, CarPros Volkswagen in San Bernardino. We are the #1 Kia retailer in the nation for franchised retailers, and we've retailed over 100,000 new Kias. We run generally high-performing and big Kia dealerships. As an organization, we do nearly $500 million a year in sales, and we have over 400 employees. I joined the company right after I got out of university, out of college in 1997. So I've been involved almost my entire adult life. I went to the University of Puget Sound, which is a liberal arts school in Washington, where I double majored in accounting and finance. I spent most of my career at CarPros as the CFO. About 2 years ago, and the majority shareholder at the beginning of this year. Kia makes a great vehicle. We have a full line of rugged and capable SUVs and sporty and fun sedans. They started as a value brand, known for a great warranty with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. They've added great styling to that. For the last 4 years, they've been #1 in J.D. Power initial quality. The first year that they did that, they were the first non-luxury brand in 19 years to win that. So they're outperforming Porsche and Lexus as far as initial quality, according to J.D. Power. Looking at our customer base at our existing dealerships, we determined that we actually had a good number of customers coming in from the Inland Empire and from Riverside County. So, which is a little odd because our marketing efforts are really usually just local, but we have great deals and treat people really well. So we started looking for a place to open a CarPros Kia on this side of town. When Kia approached us about the opportunity in Moreno Valley, we couldn't have been more excited. We love what's going on in this town. We love the location. We love the growth that you guys are having with population and with jobs. Once we get our dealership opened, we should eventually employ up to 75 to 100 employees. Our average salary is around $62,000 a year. We anticipate retailing 2,500 new and used units a year through there, which would generate roughly $70 million in sales tax. Today, if you have any questions on the actual plan itself, I have my architect, we have our environmental consultant, and our civil engineer. Happy to answer any of the
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing. Do we have any people that like to speak?
No, sir.
None? Okay, so open and close public hearing, right? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is, I guess we'll now close the public testimony and move on to deliberations with the commission. Okay? Who wants to start? Okay. Ready to go? Okay.
I had a question here. It looks like it's going to be right there on Moreno Beach, butting up against the northbound traffic of Moreno Beach Drive. I don't know, you can't see that right there, but there's looks like a large section of places for cars there. Is that parking for staff, or is that going to be the display, the ones that are right up against Moreno Beach?
Excuse me. The double lane of parking there will be display vehicles. The employee parking will be to the rear of the building, to the west side, up against the west property line. And then customer parking will be located to the front and south of the building, up there.
Okay. With that said, if those are the display vehicles, then I'd imagine the lighting there would be quite substantial to keep the. What are the operating hours of the Kia dealership?
Dealership is going to be open until 9 o'clock.
Because I was just a little concerned, because I believe right across the street from that is a set of apartment buildings.
Yes, that's correct.
Deliveries. I know that when they get in new cars, they bring in a big old truck and have a bunch of cars on the truck. Do they have any specific plan to maybe not have delivery so late at night or that sort of thing? You know, because the truck comes in and the parking brake's set, and I'm sure the people at the apartments will probably hear that right away.
Sure. The The project is conditioned to not allow for any offloading in the streets, so that's one thing that was considered originally. There is a loading space positioned on the south side of the building. In terms of the hours of loading, the applicant would need to speak to that.
Loading and unloading the new
Yes.
vehicles for arrival.
The location of the loading space is directly up against the southern elevation of the building. So it would be on the side facing the apartments, but it wouldn't be close to the street. It would be right up against the building itself.
One more question. Well, actually, just with it being so close to Moreno Beach, is there going to be any disruption to the northbound traffic, or is that all the construction going to take place without disrupting traffic on Moreno Beach?
All of the, there'll be no entrances or exits on Moreno Beach. The main entrance for customers and for the service will be on Auto Mall Drive, just opposite Motorway. And then the secondary entrance into the facility will be off of Pettit to the north. So there'll be no traffic interruptions on Moreno Beach.
I don't know, I think Alvin might have been asking too about the construction phase of it. Will it interrupt any traffic flow going onto the freeway? Because it is a pretty busy thoroughfare there, Moreno Beach Drive. Doing construction.
I wouldn't imagine that there'd be much interruption during the construction phase on Moreno Beach also. There are no street widening required for this. There will be some curb modifications done on Pettit and on Auto Mall Drive, but the existing curbs and most of the sidewalks are being preserved on Moreno Beach. There is a few sections of sidewalk that are going to be widened, but there is not going to be really any substantial construction on Moreno Beach Drive. The parkways and landscaping are already in. Almost all the construction that's going to take place will be beyond the parkways.
Okay, and on condition number 18, I noticed that the word, it says the police chief, and the wording was may require the business to provide reasonable future security within the dealership parking. I don't know how the applicant feels about that, but there are the apartments, like Alvin said, directly across the street, and it would be beneficial, I would think, to have some sort of security. That's just my assumption, but I know they use the word may, but I know that he'd like to,
I think
I'm sure he'd like to secure his investment.
Sure. I think the condition was meant to allow the chief police some discretion should security issues arise that need to be addressed that might require some additional conditions. The applicant could probably speak to their security measures. A few of the things that they built into the design, there are swing gates at all the entrances that will allow them to lock the entrances on and off the site. There are also special crash bars that are going to prevent any of the display vehicles from being driven through the landscaping and off the site, so that it's going to be difficult to remove vehicles from the site. Other security measures that they may have, the applicant would have to speak to.
Okay, I was just concerned with that being so close to residential.
Hey, Commissioner Harris?
Yes, I'd like to know too, exactly what they're going to do for security to protect the vehicles that are just going to be parked there, so kids aren't, wandering through the lot with, I don't want to scare the applicant, but with cans of spray paint and not that I've ever seen that, but try to look at the worst. If they were going to have cameras or security guards or and maybe.
The applicant like to address those concerns?
Yeah, thank you. We've been, like I said, operating car dealerships for 25 years, and security is always a big concern. In addition to the security measures that are built in, all of our stores have camera systems that are monitored after hours, and haven't had huge problems with theft and vandalism. I think that would be different here. It's generally our experience that with some cameras and some signs that it's not a.
Also, just so everybody understands.
Okay. Back in the back.
This area, loading zone is for,
I know usually in a car dealership, and I'm just thinking because you're so close to the apartment buildings, there's usually announcements. You know, you hear the loudspeaker, John, report to the front office, you know, that sort of thing. Is that going to go on all the way throughout the opening, the operating hours?
have it in the conditions, it's.
Right, yeah.
Commissioner, the other item I would note is that with the paging systems, it will still need to comply with our noise ordinance. Also, you identified previously the lighting. All of the lighting will also need to comply with our lighting ordinance, so there will need to be cutoffs placed on the lights so that there is not light spill, not only to the apartments, but also into right-of-way as well from the site. So there are some conditions of approval that have been placed on this project to take both of those items that you had mentioned into consideration, and will be verified through the plan check process.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've also already started with our electrical engineer, we've done a site work. Full cutoffs for all the lighting. Our goal is to keep all the lighting within the property limit line. So we're not going to have any spillage off the property. If we need to, we will add additional shields along Moreno Beach Drive because we'll be sensitive to the residences across the street.
Anyone else? Okay.
Young
Commissioner.
lady would like to speak.
Yes,
Do you have any idea of the completion of this project? Should it be approved, this part approved tonight? How long until you would open your doors?
Our goal is to break ground before the end of the year and to be open sometime, hopefully middle of next year. So we're very anxious to get going. I'd also like to comment, just very briefly, if I may, on the concerns about being a good neighbor. Several of our dealerships do currently abut residential, and we go to extremes to be good neighbors for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's the right thing to do, and second of all, we're in retail, and we've kind of figure if you go around ticking people off, you don't sell a lot of cars. So it's really important to us to be a good neighbor, to make sure that we don't have noise problems, that we don't run loud compressors, that we don't have traffic problems, because the people in the neighborhood, the people that live close to us, are hopefully our clients, and we of course want to respect them.
Anyone else? Okay. If not, we'll go on ahead and deliberate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. It looks like a pretty good project. The planning is very well done. It seems like a good thing for us to bring this to the city, so I'm going to vote approval.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an asset for the city, and you know, I know Kia is a very good brand, and he's been doing this a long time, and I know he's gonna be sensitive to the residents, and so I don't see a problem with it at all.
Anyone else? I'm excited to see another dealership show up out in the auto mall. I think it's been planned out very well. So that being said, do I have a motion to move forward with this?
Sure.
Okay, Commissioner Korzak?
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Sorry.
You got my name right this time, good. I vote that we approve resolution number 2019-30 with the modifications presented in the memorandum July 11th, 2019.
Okay. Is that good? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and second, we got a motion by Commissioner Kozak and a second by Commissioner Stefan. All vote. Okay, it passes 5-0 with, 5-0 with one absent and one abstain. Okay, very good. Moving on.
We have one more resolution that needs
Oh,
to be,
one more
be acted on,
resolution.
please.
Okay, sorry about that. Is
That'd
that,
be 2019-31. Same motion with a different number.
okay?
Okay, I'll do it again then. I vote that we approve resolution 2019-31 with the conditions of approval as presented in the memorandum on July 11th, 2019.
No,
And I'll also second that.
you need, what, 2019? Is that good? Okay, very good. You second that? Okay, all in favor? Guess we vote again, right? For the second resolution?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, got it. Mover.
Yep.
Got just a mover up here, so. Can we get a roll call vote?
It should be working.
Okay,
They're all movers.
it's all mover.
Commissioner Brugaris, excused. Commissioner Stefan?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner DeJournette?
yes.
Commissioner Corsick?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Baker?
Yes.
Chairperson Sims, absent.
Okay, moved 5-0 on that resolution, okay? Moving on. Okay, the next item on the agenda is commissioner business. Is there anyone have anything they want to address the commission with? And
Excuse
good
me,
luck to you guys, okay, Car Pros?
Vice Chair Baker, if I could just give a quick wrap-up.
I'm sorry,
Just to
excuse me.
acknowledge.
I get a
Thank you.
spanking for that, don't I?
No problem.
Okay.
That the action tonight taken by the Planning Commission is an appealable action. Any interested party that would want to file an appeal would need to do so within 15 days, directing the appeal in writing to the Community Development Director, and with the appropriate fee and stating specific reasons. If an appeal is received, it would be directed towards the City Council for future action. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to omit you at all.
No problem.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is if any of the commission business at this time, any of the commissioners have anything they'd like to comment about? Right, okay, and then let's do, I may have that a little out of order, but we need staff comments.
No comments?
Okay, we're in good shape. At this time, the Planning Commission meeting is adjourned to 7 p.m. to our next regular meeting on July 25th, 2019. Okay,
Thank you.
meeting adjourned. See you in 2 weeks.